So I want to show the people chapter 4 of the Book of Commandments from 1833, which I didn't realize wasn't published until you just explained that. But it's now, you can see it online, what was printed, I guess what was salvaged from the destruction in Missouri. Um, and so this raises an interesting question that we'll get to in a minute. All right, so it's chapter 4. I'm going to share my screen here. It says, a revelation given to Joseph Smith and Martin Harris.
Yes.
Yeah, it says in parentheses here. Right on the right here is their transcription. On the left is a photo of it. In Harmony, Pennsylvania, March 29th, when Martin desired of the Lord to know whether Joseph had in his possession the record of the Nephites. So behold, I say unto you that my servant Martin has desired a witness from my hand, that my servant Joseph has got the things of which he has testified and borne record that he has received of me. So the first thing let's keep reading. And now behold, this shall you say unto him. So the voice here is God speaking to Joseph, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Meaning the way it's presented. I, the Lord, am God, and I have given these things unto my servant Joseph, and I have commanded him that he should stand as a witness of these things. Nevertheless, I have caused him that he should enter into a covenant with me, that he should not show them except I command him. Meaning, don't show them the plates.
Don't show anybody.
Okay. Unless I, God, command him to do so. And he has no power over them except I grant it unto him. And he has a gift to translate the book. And I have commanded him that he shall pretend to no other gift, for I will grant him no other gift. So this again is Joseph Smith Papers. And again, this is a publication of the LDS Church. This isn't some critical organization, right? This is the LDS Church's publication. And it says here, Revelation, March 1829, D&C 5. So D&C 5 means Doctrine and Covenants 5, meaning that's what it's called today.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to D&C 5.
D&C 5 doesn't always, the numbers in the 1835 Doctrine, it is the current edition.
Okay, so in other words, although this is chapter 4, it's equivalent to D&C 5.
Yeah.
So now this is churchofjesuschrist.org, which I understand is the LDS Church, and it's D&C 5, and it's the same thing we just read, except it says, and you have a gift to translate the plates. Let's go back to the other one. Is that what it says? Let's see. Now behold, I've given you these things unto my servants. I guess it's not word for word.
No, well, you should, yeah.
We're coming to the difference, right? But I want to see the parts that are similar, right? So it says, I have given you a gift to translate the plates, and this is the first gift that I bestowed upon you.
Yeah, the first gift.
This is the first gift that I've bestowed upon you. And I've commanded that you should pretend to no other gift. And that is verbatim, right?
Yes.
Let's find it here.
It's right there, right above the 3, right there.
Okay, that he, so here it's, that's interesting. So here it's in third person, and here it's in second person, right? That you should pretend to no other gift. And it says that he shall pretend to no other gift until my purpose is fulfilled in this, meaning translating the plates.
Yeah.
For I will grant unto you no other gift until it is finished. Right? So once it's finished, then I'm going to give you another gift, which is to establish the church maybe and do other things. But here it's for that he shall pretend to no other gift, for I will grant him no other gift. Full stop, as the British say, period in American English. And then it's other things. So what happened between 1833 and 1835 when we got until it is finished?
Well, as he dictated the Book of Mormon, it became more and more religious as time went on. It became more and more concerned with actual worship and the church and authority and organization. And when Jesus comes, he sets up 12 apostles, and those 12 apostles administer the church until there's an apostasy among the Nephites, and there's no more apostles left, and they go into this apostasy, and they actually dwindle in unbelief. And so they start war. They were united when Jesus came and had all things in common, and everything was a golden kind of era for 200 years.
So going back to the Book of Commandments, 1833, And then the modern Doctrine and Covenants, maybe it was changed in 1835, whenever it was. Did Joseph Smith, when they published the Doctrine and Covenants, did he have those revelations in his hand and he said, oh, I want to change this. I want to add the words until it is finished? Or is he trying to reconstruct his memory after this catastrophe that happened in Missouri and the press is destroyed? Maybe he doesn't remember, or maybe he thinks nobody else knows, and he's adding until it is finished to say, hey, I'm not just a translator, I'm actually the founder of a church. How does that happen in the 2-year period? It's such a big difference. How does he get away? How does he think he can get away with it? That's an even better question.
Yeah, really. Well, there's several strains of story here, but the thing that changes the whole story of the restoration and the apostasy and restoration is when they're trying to, Joseph Smith and Oliver Cowdery they're trying to keep the Missouri church from apostatizing, because they're questioning a lot of Joseph Smith's revelations and his leadership, and they're not so sure about certain innovations like the high priesthood. They're not so sure about that. And him becoming the president of the high priesthood, we're not so sure about that. So they kind of saw it as themselves in Missouri. The Missouri church had its own presidency, and as a little autonomous to the Kirtland church over here. And then Joseph Smith started trying to control this one more. And they are charismatic themselves. And David Whitmer is the president, actually, of that Missouri church.
Oh.
Yeah, and the Bishop Partridge is over here questioning Joseph Smith. And there's a lot going on is over a period of years. And then finally, out of nowhere almost, Oliver Cowdery and Joseph Smith get together to write the history of the church and publish it in letters written to the Missouri church. And the first thing they announce is, by the way, we were ordained by John the Baptist shortly after, before our baptisms, while we were translating the Book of Mormon. We just never mentioned it.
Wow. So I'm not just a translator now. I Joseph Smith, but I'm only the translator until it is finished, and now I've got this other authority.
Directly from someone who has an indisputable authority.
And David Whitmer is thinking, I presume,
I never heard that before.
Well, number one, he's thinking, I never heard that. And he's also thinking, I saw the angel, I saw the plates. Why is Joseph Smith so special?
Before this, you mean?
Well, even at that point, he's probably thinking this, right?
No, this kind of like it puts a whole different concept of authority in place.
But does David Whitmer accept that?
We're not just being commanded by revelation and obeying commandments.
Okay.
That's the authority. We now have a chain. We have established a chain that can't be broken. Right?
I see.
That means you can't splinter off over here in Missouri and be legitimate.
Right. So you're not defying Joseph Smith and Oliver Cowdery, you're defying John the Baptist.
Right. And there's a chain of authority from John the Baptist, the authority to baptize. He physically ordained us.
Wow.
Because he was resurrected, right?
Was he? I mean, that's part of the doctrine here, right?
Yeah, in the New Testament, he died before he was beheaded before Jesus, and so when Jesus was resurrected, all the bodies of the saints arose and went into.
Oh, okay. So that's the idea, is that he's been alive since the time of Jesus' resurrection.
Yeah. So he can ordain a human.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Nehemia 5 was published in September of 1835.
So it's 2 years later.
Highly edited. They were highly edited revelation. The early revelations, like the edits that you read, were done at that time.
And they were done at that time?
Yes. Joseph Smith did them. So along with introducing this angel ordination story, he actually worked in some of these early revelations, mentions of that visit.
Okay. So how did I go back to this question because I'm thinking as somebody in the 21st century who I have a web page open here and another web page open here, and I look at them side by side. Is he thinking no one's ever going to check? And I'm talking about where he adds the words, there's no other purpose until it is finished. No other gift until
at the time they published it in 1835, there was a review committee, Joe Smith being on it and Robert Cowdery being on it. This review committee, the statement they made was that due to, the the only published versions of these early revelations they had was in the newspaper. In that evening, the Morning Star published some of them, and people would be able to compare. Nobody else could compare because they were all in manuscript versions, and they blamed it on the typesetter. And
so they had an explanation.
Carelessness of the scribe. The scribes could make mistakes in hearing, and so they gave an excuse that wasn't really transparent.
So if you're a devout Mormon, you could hear everything we just said about how he added the words until it is finished and say, okay, Nehemia, don't lie to us. Don't deceive us. That's because of the typesetter. And you should have known that was Joseph Smith's explanation at the time. Okay. I mean, that would be the apologist answer, right?
That was the explanation at the time. Most Mormons that know about this, know that doesn't really cover it all, would say that Joseph Smith, under inspiration, updated the revelations. That they are given line by line, precept on precept, sort of like when I was telling you that bishops were added later than the 1830 foundational articles and covenants, and that they had to come back and add it to that. They would just say he had authority by God to update it.